Alright, what's up everybody? We are here with a big best of 5 series. We've got Storm Gaming's MaxPax in the bottom right side of the map. And he's going to be going into his favorite Glaive Adept map, Curious Minds, up against none other than Clash's Reynor. Reynor, of course, the reigning world champion of StarCraft 2, an absolute monster. But going up against MaxPax on this map, it's going to be interesting to see how he approaches defending the Glaive Adept shenanigans, if there's any tricks up his sleeve as well. Now, this probe does come in nice and early. We see MaxPax likes to send that probe in very early to make sure he gets that block off. And Reynor going to take that front hatchery. Of course, this hatchery gives you a perfect walking path forwards into this middle area to assault either this third or this third. Let's be real, every Protoss takes this third base just because it's a bit, I think, easier for them to pull into this pocket here and defend superior numbers. Whereas if they're trying to defend up there, they kind of get caught out in the open out here a little bit, where there's a big concave against them. It is what it is. Of course, MaxPax is actually going Stargate this game, guys, because he's got 2 workers on gas. Looks like he's going Stargate anyway. Normally, with his Adept build, he will have 16 on minerals. Now, keep in mind, this actually came right after a series versus a different Zerg player, which Reynor probably or potentially saw the result of. And that one actually finished on this map with MaxPax doing a nice tight Glaive Adept attack. So interesting to see exactly if that's going to be the same scenario or if he changes it up. Does look like the Stargate build, like I mentioned, but as I say that, he's pulled off Gas 1 worker now to prioritize minerals. Does send this guy back on that. This probe still being a bit of a cheeky dickhead. Reynor not paying attention to his workers there. You could see he's got 3 all on 1 patch and they're derping around. They do automatically fix themselves up there, I believe. And already starting to rally drones to the natural. Now, we're going to find out if Warp Gate starts up. And he's going to start it. So, does look like a Twilight Council build. Because he's over 150. Yeah, okay. So he mines a little bit of extra gas. Slight variation in the build order. Not sure if this is going to be a very different execution from the previous one we saw from MaxPax, or if this is just like a little subconscious change, because it's such a minor thing, it doesn't matter. He luckily changes the rally point just in time. Otherwise, I think that Adept would have popped out here and been trapped in that corner, but does fix that just before it pops. Stalker comes out behind that. He does like the Stalker to deny the Overlord seeing what's up. And third base there as well. Adept coming on in. Queen Zergling's going to see what they can do. The Adept's going to go in. Damages 1, but keeps the hit points alive, which is probably the more important thing here for MaxPax. Cautiously hanging out, seeing if he can catch any drones rallying past. Robo goes down after that, of course. You need to get the Warp Prism started. So even though this does delay the 100 gas being available for Glaives, that's fine, because you don't need Glaives until you're actually fighting. And the Adept goes in, takes even more damage, barely gets out of there in the red, but she's very wounded. Still no Glaives. 3 gateways, and then Glaives goes down. Fascinating, okay. And he's pausing probes a little bit there. Okay, I think we're going to see a chrono or 2 on those Glaives, surely. Right now, no chronos on Warp Gate, so that will be finishing 20 seconds, 3:53. Link speed has kicked in now. Reynor's going to try and get a bit of map vision. His own third base is coming up, building lots of queens. He does not know exactly what's going on, but seeing a Stalker, seeing Warp Gate, you can kind of assume. And he's going to go for a Roach Warren on 345. Now, this is interesting. Normally, there's two different ways of playing that I think of. It's either 330, Roach Warren, second gas. That's where you rush 3 Ravagers out. And then you just use Zerglings and those 3 Ravagers to defend. The other one is normally 4 minutes to 410, Roach Warren and second gas. Reynor's going the old in-between, and this is very Reynor. He's a very fluid player. If he feels like a kind of intuitive in-between response is going to get the work done, then that's what he'll do. And MaxPax, I think he's committing way harder than the last time, guys. This is 6 Adepts that are going to be joining 4 more. So he's going to be hitting with 10 Adepts at 430. Last time it was 7 at 430. This is a much bigger commitment. You can see his probe count's way lower. We don't see the gases, the Robo Bay, the probes behind this. Big commitment for MaxPax coming out. 4 more Adepts coming in. 6 Roaches are on the way for Reynor. But Reynor, of course, I love the creep spread. The Queen's meeting these Adepts very far forward. He's trying to pull back. Doesn't want to take too much damage there. The Adepts do cancel their shade. Queens are going to try and get a little bit more damage on them, but he doesn't want to lose those Queens. Roaches starting to trickle out to the front. 7 Roaches on the way. Observer behind this. There is still no pro production for MaxPax. This is a massive commitment for MaxPax. 14 Adepts at the 5-minute mark. And they want to move in and focus down those queens. Already one transfuse has to go down, another transfuse, but that's going to be a dead queen, and she does indeed fall. He goes onto the ramp. He's going to take the fight. There are 5 roaches doing great damage, but the zerglings are getting slaughtered. Those zerglings unable to get the surround or the surface area. They are going down quick, fast, and these Adepts now are going to go after some drones. They realize they cannot fight the roaches head on, but already 4 going down. And look at this, guys. The Warp Prism almost dies. He's going to pull it back just barely. Adepts in the third base. Adepts in the main. Notice he pulled back. The roaches get stuck in the rally point. And he's actually going to fight those roaches and start overwhelming them. The Adepts still ransacking that third base, killing the drones as they pop out. And the Adepts, well, when you outnumber the roaches 2-1 and you fight them one at a time coming through the choke point, it turns out they're not too bad, eh? The Adept's going to go into the natural as well, already down to 34 drones. Reynor needs to get on top of this right now, but even more workers going down. He's continuing to drone during this, so he's kind of allowed to take damage here, guys. Because he was not building many fighting units, he was focusing on saying, I know I'm going to take damage, but I'm going to rebuild drones while the fight's happening, and that's why he's only down 8 workers at the end of it. So Reynor going for what we call, it's kind of a laser style move, high risk, but it does allow you to cushion the blow. And that's why a lot of people, they look at Zerg damage and they really don't understand it, because they say, oh, you killed 16 drones, it should be game over. Well, if he was only building units, yeah, that would have put him down to like 23, 24 workers, he'd be dead. But because Reynor was droning that whole time, rather than building more Roach Sling, MaxPax needed more damage. So everything is relational. It all depends about how much does the Zerg commit to drones, how much to units. And this is something, whenever you're playing against Zerg, if you forget that, playing against Zerg is very frustrating because it doesn't seem to make sense. You're like, I killed 20 drones. I should have won the game. This is bullshit. And then he just comes back like it's nothing. If you look at that replay and he was 30 drones up on you because he was super greedy, had next to no army. Well, shit, 20 drones isn't the benchmark. The benchmark of proper damage in that scenario is you should have killed 40 drones, mate. You fucked up. And remembering that, depending on how a Zerg plays, damage is completely relational, and it's very, very flexible what it means. So you've got to understand the context of how that Zerg is playing, and Reynor's played a greedy game, but he's going to get caught out by this follow-up attack. Look at that. 2 Adepts in the third, Adept Immortal on the front. Reynor redroned to 60, but look at that. Already 7 drones going down. Immortal's in. Cancel the Shade. Nice Shade cancel. He lets 2 Adepts continue. These guys are going to continue into the base. Those Adepts, though, in the main could still do big damage if he focuses. These 2 Adepts also meant to go after those workers. They get shut down, but in the third base, that's what MaxPax is focusing on, and he's kicking ass. And look at that in the main. He's killing so many drones up there. Oh my god, MaxPax coming in big game 1. A massive commitment to the Adept timing. Follows up with a double Immortal Adept follow-up. And Reynor is just getting absolutely rolled over here. His third is so low, but MaxPax says, I don't need to kill your third. I can just fight you. Now, those Immortals will lose that fight eventually. Oh, great block with the Roach Queen there. The Immortals get picked up and saved, though. Anytime you think those Immortals are in trouble and you get tempted to jump on them, fight that urge. It will not work unless you've killed the Warp Prism, because that Warp Prism gives such mobility, and that's the beauty of this sort of attack. Your power units can always get moved around with the Warp Prism. Your Adepts can shade around. Often you think of an Adept army as not having that mobility. Say you've got a pack of Sentry Immortals, because the Sentry and the Immortal can't shade with it. So do you really want to abandon your Sentry Immortal? But if you just go for 2 Immortals, you just put those in the Warp Prism, and you can completely bypass their ground army. So Reynor has now lost 46 workers in this game. 40 Lings, 17 Roaches, 5 Queens, and a Spore for 37 Adepts. That's pretty damn worth it. Look at the units lost tab. Well in the favor of MaxPax, who's up 22 workers behind this. Now, Reynor's going to try and hang in there because he knows he's made some crazy comebacks with Roach Ravager Micro in the past. But in this scenario, unless MaxPax literally just starts dragging his forehead across the keyboard and I don't know, trying to play with his elbows on his mouse or some shit like that, there's no way to get back in this one. The numbers are just brutal. Now you might say, oh, equal army supply. It's equal Roach versus Sentry Immortal. Sentry Immortal, hard counters Roaches. Yes, Ravagers can help break force fields, but it doesn't matter, dude. You need to have way more army supply to win this sort of compositional matchup. And instead, you're behind on economy, which means every second that goes by, MaxPax on these 8 gateways is making way more units than you. He's got Blink. The Blink Stalkers alone with equal army supply without the Immortal Sentry would win this. With the Immortal Sentry, we are watching a absolutely jacked fucking 600 kilogram ripped hulk of a human being fighting a skinny teenager who's I don't know, he's vegan and doesn't exercise and hasn't eaten protein in the last 6 years or some shit like that and has vitamin deficiencies. I don't even know. Point being, big Protoss man with lasers and guns fighting roaches make vomit. It's unfair. I cannot describe enough how desperately terrible and dead this situation is. Reynor's dead! Reynor's dead. We're watching a death animation. That's what I'm trying to say. In as creative a way as possible, I guess. Nice Biles, great micro, Lings tanking on the left. Nice Biles spread across the line. But yeah. Can he kill one Immortal? No, he cannot. Great micro by MaxPax. Keeps that one Immortal alive. Links on top. Fantastic momentum play here on Curious Minds from MaxPax. Gets the first game. Great game one victory there up against the big dog. But he's going to be going into a map where I don't think he's going to be opting for the same playstyle. Of course, we'll have to keep our eyes open and see. Once again, sends a very early probe out. Makes more sense on this bigger map. Excuse me. Up here in the top right, Sidestorm Gaming's MaxPax. In the bottom left, reigning world champion Clash Reynor. Runner-up for 2019 and world champion for 2020. Really curious to see how he does in the World Championship that's coming up to sum up 2021. Of course, it will be played here in early 2022. As always, that's how we do it. So, I don't think Reynor has been as untouchable recently by any means. I mean, not that Reynor ever really is untouchable. In terms of, like, Reynor has never really had the same sort of streak of, like, Clem in Zerg vs. Terran in best of... Was it best of threes or best of five? I think it was best of threes or greater. And Serral obviously had that insane streak. Maru had a crazy streak in 2018 as well. I don't know if Reynor's ever had a streak quite as big. He just has tournament runs and moments, though, where he looks unstoppable. And I really think Reynor and Dark, two birds of a feather, intuitive players. They like to vary their strategies. They have pretty good strategic understanding. But I'd put it more on my level, where it's like, oh, they think like 1 or 2 layers deep at most in the strategy. Whereas I think a guy like MaxPax is often thinking many layers deep. And I think Lambo definitely thinking many layers deep. You know, Rogue probably... I feel like Rogue has got to be one of the smartest players out there. I think if Rogue was willing to practice harder and not just try to gamble his way to victory, like, feels like Rogue's always playing the odds, you know? He really turns StarCraft into a bit of a poker game where he's so good at reading his opponents and thinking ahead and knowing how he can get advantages that sometimes he just gets bopped because he's...
Thanks for the Bezos
He's not
box.
playing safe, right? Like there's moments where Rogue's like, nah, I can cut this corner here. And I'm like, but you don't need to cut that corner. That's the 4th corner you're cutting in a row. And then he gets killed. So maybe it's a double-edged sword for him. Whereas a guy like Reynor or Dark, you can catch them out, catch them behind, and they won't die still a lot of the time. They're very hard to kill. I would say, though, his weak point is the sort of play that MaxPax does. Because MaxPax is going to make the game frustrating. He's not going to let you play that mechanical, backstabby, back and forth, mid-game engagements game, which Reynor thrives in. MaxPax is either going to try and rip your head off with some early adepts or some shenanigans, or a cannon rush, or he's going to play a perfect Void Ray up into carrier game. And that carrier game is not something Reynor enjoys. Reynor has been very vocal about how he thinks it's a snooze fest. He's like, oh, cool, I'll make 100 drones with queens. You'll make 4 base, 90 pro Void Ray. He doesn't like it. And it's a dangerous mindset to kind of be public about. Because he does sometimes just say, well, I didn't want it to be a snooze fest. That's why I just did this all in. He scouted it. He stopped it. And that's cool in small tournaments and weekly cups. It's not the end of the world. Mix in some aggressive plays. It does add more fear to your opponents because, you might just try some crazy shit. On the other hand, how good is his slow, measured late game? We know Serral will grit his teeth and play a scenario he doesn't enjoy and do it perfectly. Can Reynor do the same thing? Let's see how he handles this Oracle into Void Ray play. MaxPax being very cautious. No early adept pressure. 16 Lings are out. Oh, he's going for a cancel on the 3rd. The Void Ray does not find the Overlord. That's going to go hide out here to the left. This 3rd should get cancelled here. Oracle will be nearby, though. Great pylon adept positioning creates a choke point for the adept. He's got 400 hit points. Every second that goes by, it's going to get more hit points. Oh, he's waiting for the Oracle to leave, I think. I think he knows the timing. I think he waits till 410 and then he goes in. Oh my god, he knew the timing so well. And there's only one Adept there. He's just going to click on the Nexus, I think. Does he go for the Adept? He's going to go for the Adept as well. Oh, wow. Okay. I think he should kill that pylon. A lot of those Lings stuck behind each other. I don't know about this idea. He will kill 2 more Adepts. The Void Ray comes in. Doesn't look like it got that much damage. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, those Zealots warp in. They do buy a little bit of time. The Oracle comes back, and he will keep the 3rd alive. Oh, you know what? You got 2 Zealots. You got the Adept, and you force the Oracle home. So, unlike just killing the 3rd, he's actually using these Zerglings to defend the Oracle, which, if you've skimped on, say, Spores at home, is really cute, but nah. He didn't skimp on Antia. He's got 6 Queens. He's got 3 Spores. So, the way I really love players to pair up this sort of play is I think you can actually get really ahead of it if you skimp on the defense. You say, I know this is going to pull the Oracle home, and that's my whole goal. I think you can really get some nice damage done. He'll go for the battery. No, 2 Void Rays, too much damage coming out there. Just gets a probe, pulls back. At the end of all this, of course, units lost tab does look good for Reynor. I don't think this is bad at all for him. He's kept the Oracle back. His creep's going forward. He's looking pretty all right. And he's going to go melee. Oh, Reynor's going to play Queenling Bane, I think, into Ultras. I think that's what he's going to play. So I think he's going to look to do like Big Ling Bane run-bys and stuff if possible. Not necessarily, but I really hope that's what he does, because I think one of the best ways to keep it fun and action-packed up against this sort of style from MaxPax is what you can do is you can basically be super greedy, kind of ignore their air army, and just run past and be like, Banelings kill Adept. Baneling Zergling running natural. Baneling Zergling running here. And you kind of force their air to stay on the defense against that. So that does rely on you getting a little bit of economic momentum. Right now, the economy very close. 2 Adepts going to come in, do something to damage that. Those Zerglings with a good surround. Good drone pull as well. So nicely done there by Reynor. Only 3 drones going down. If he can keep this 4th up and drone those minerals, that's the most important part in this next step. No Baneling Nest yet. 2nd Evo Chamber's down, so we will see Carapace, which is, of course, going to help the Queens, but also help those Zerglings. Especially against Void Rays and Carriers. These units that attack very frequently with not that much damage per attack. The Void Ray, you can see, attacks 3 times a second almost. It's super fast. So that means, hey, every second of it attacking, each Carapace upgrade is knocking 3 damage off it. It's pretty damn effective. Now, Baneling Nest is on the way now. I do think it's a little late because I think Baneling speed kicking in is huge. I also think you're at 78 drones. It's time to get Zerglings out and start looking for cancels on these bases, because if he gets enough cannon battery up, if he gets some wall off up, that's where things start to get really hard. Now, he should just target these gateways, try to tear those down, but it looks like he's scouting. Interesting. Okay. Colossus Bay's on the way, obviously wanting to add disruptors. Carrier's starting. Does he not have... Okay, he's got +1 air weapons, hasn't started +2 yet. I think he's saying, look, more important for me to get at least 3 carriers started first and foremost. And no 5th base yet for Reynor. So he's gone up to 6 gases. He's going Infestation Pit, Baneling Speed, +2 melee. Queens are going to move forward and start to fight these Void Rays back. He wants to get more creep control. I think he's got to mass Zerglings for sure. And he's doing it right now. I really like this style. I think, honestly, this is one of the best styles if you don't like playing the late game technical version of the matchup. I always tell people, hey, one of the best ways, I know it sounds weird, is get some Queens up for anti-air, but then basically just stop usually at about 8 Queens. You don't need to build 14 normally unless they're really massing Void Rays. And you can just mass Zerglings and start doing big Ling Bane run-bys and split your army up and roll in on this base through the middle with 20 Banelings, 20 Zerglings. Same thing on this side into that base. He can't defend everywhere at once, and already no shield batteries up. He can click that Nexus down. Does he go for it? He's going to go for the cannons and the probes first. Great hold position block by MaxPax. Oh my god, that's actually wasting so much of the Zerglings' time there. Oh, that was beautifully done, but a lot of probes will still go down. The Zergling's going to pick off another pylon and pull back, but that pylon's still up, which means MaxPax, he can quickly drop some cannon battery here, and that would be fantastic for him. Notice he's splitting up the Zerglings now, is Reynor. This wall off on the right is so well done, and he's not really getting the damage done and letting MaxPax get the 4th up. I gotta say, guys, at my level of play, I would consider this as, I would be very panicked if I was Reynor right now. I'd be like, dude, I'm taking too long. He's going Hive and Spire. He's going for all the tech, which is nice, but I would have put a lot more priority on smashing my opponent's economy back and slow the tech down by 30, 40 seconds, you know, get these Banelings in earlier, faster. I think that's got to be the priority. Now, There's no stasis traps, thankfully. Stasis traps can really ruin your day with this. He's going to go for it. Void Ray focus fire on some of those Banelings nice and early. Banelings going for the probes. Oh, look at the split. He even tried to block with one of the probes. I don't think he's going to get it, though. And a lot of these probes are going to go down. He also rolled Banelings into that base as well. He's got more Zerglings there, ready to go with another wave. 25 probes, and that's the damage that he was looking for. And this is why going for Heavyling Bane is such a fun style, because it's so hard for air units to do enough damage against those fast-moving units on the ground to actually stop him. And at this point, he's going Great Spire. I really think he's missing an opportunity to go Ultras, because what's he got to kill Ultras, guys? Void Rays, they're okay. They're not the greatest. Carriers do nothing to Ultralisks. If you've got equal armor versus their attack upgrades, literally Ultralisks just laugh at carriers. Now, unfortunately, this isn't going to do any damage, I don't think. And, oh no, yeah, the Karak! MaxPax kills the Karak. God damn, just with this. I guess you could say, I mean, yeah, you could say Reynor did it, but it was MaxPax that killed him. So MaxPax once again being a hater of the kind little critters on these maps. Someone called Peter. 20 queens here. Wow, so he's going to do a mass queen microbial shroud broodlord push. Okay, so now we're seeing what Reynor's strategy is, guys. Reynor is going to morph broodlords, and he's just going to push in and try to kill the base and use mass queen plus those 3 infestors that are stacking energy for microbial shroud. So he should have 6 microbial shrouds by the time the pushing happens, and be able to do that. I think you really want to push with this, though, just because look what's happening. Ground transition on the way for MaxPax. He's got Immortals, Charge, lots of Gateways all on the way, and Zealots will do very well versus Queens. Now, he's got some Ling Bane right now, but he doesn't have a huge number of those units, so definitely got to keep an eye on how he's going to make this work. Those Broodlords morphing down here. 4 Broodlords to start. Reynor's making a second Spire and more drones. So actually, it looks like rather than hitting a timing attack, he might be playing a slow game, but he doesn't have Vipers yet. He doesn't have Corruptors, and his drone count was not that high. And he's building more Zerglings. Nah. Now he's going the Ultra Cavern. I really feel that there was big opportunities for Ultras to run by, guys. Well before this. Now, though, Immortal count grows, Archon count grows. It's going to get harder and harder to get on in there. And MaxPax is just, I think, very rightfully so, playing a very defensive and turtley game as he heads to +3 air attack. Doesn't have Psystorm yet, which definitely could be huge if it goes to that stage. Something I think Parting was criminally ignoring in his late game games was Storm, Zest as well. It's a much simpler and easier to use army without Storm, but if heavy Corruptors start coming in, that's where you're really going to regret not having it. So definitely something MaxPax will need to get eventually. He's just going to start trying to clear up as many of these tumors as he can. God, there's a lot of them though. Queen's coming forward. And it feels like that momentum that I thought Reynor was really opting for in this game has stalled out. The mass queen. Like I said, I would prefer to gamble a little bit more, play a bit lighter on the queens, get the Ling Bane aggression going earlier and harder, and then take it from there. But now we're stuck on a mass queen broodlord defense style. I don't know, man. I'm real worried that 6 broodlords isn't going to clear those Archons quick enough. And those disruptors, 3 big balls landing in the middle of those queens. I mean, scary, dude. The Zerglings could totally break that wall down, but he's misclicked it. Reynor misclicked that on the other side of the gateway, so his Zerglings keep pathing around. Tell me, I'm going to rewind this game and give you guys a little trick to avoid that happening in future. Which Reynor did mess up at first, but there we go. He's going to go in now. The disruptor shots didn't really kill much. And Zerglings running on in. Oh, he's not focus firing, so now they're getting aggroed on the fighting structure. Really needs to tear down those last gateways. He will kill those and then pull back. You can see, oh, leaves 1 gateway. There we go, goes back and gets the final hit. Okay, so little trick, guys. Reynor had not seen that wall off was there. So when he A-moved here, his units started running south. What you want to do if you're ever thinking, oh, there might be a wall, is you go A-move, shift A-move, shift A-move, shift A-move, shift A-move, shift A-move. And you do it in a sequence. That way the units will automatically, by the time they get an order that's behind the wall, they will already be in vision of the wall and therefore aggro onto it. So they will automatically attack the wall that way. And you'll see me use this a lot against Terran depot walls that have been replaced. Same thing with these Protoss gateway walls on the edges. If you ever got a pack of units, A-move, shift, and you just queue up a bunch of A-moves in a row, obviously describing it, shift A-move sounds hard to do, but it's just shift A, click, 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 and then it'll work really nicely. So just a cute little tip for you guys out there. 4 Dropper Lords coming in. He wants to drop that main base. Very cute idea. Zerglings, of course, are very, very supply efficient. So you get 4 Dropper Lords into that main. That's 32 Zerglings, 16 supply of units, and you could kill their Stargates, which would be awesome. Some probes just died. I don't know where or how exactly, but they did. Maybe on that front base. Zealots coming on in. They're going to get a few guys as well. A couple Zerglings will go deal with that. And of course, guys, for those who don't know, Zealots really good versus Zerglings when you've got a big pack of Zealots and you've got better upgrades and stuff. But when you've got 3/3 Adrenal Zerglings versus +2 nothing Zealots, those Zealots actually look piss weak. It's that moment where the 9-foot tall guy with laser swords on his wrists thinks he looks really fucking cool, and the little guy that's a professional fighter just fucking punches him in the throat, and the 9-foot guy is like, oh! You know, he's kind of gagging a little bit on his own windpipe being crushed. That's essentially it. So if you've got at least +3 armor and 3 shields on the Zealots, it's not too bad, but it's still scary, and that is because Adrenal Glands plus 40% attack speed. It is Zerglings already do a lot of damage. You get that's crazy. So what you need is you need to add an Archon or 2 in the mix, and then you start having, say, 10 Zealots, 2 Archons versus 30-40 Zerglings, and the Archons start to slay them with a splash damage. But, you know, if the Zerglings do get a big surround on any of those units, it can be pretty big. Zerglings can kill just about anything if they can get a surround on it, cost efficiently. But once you get a bunch of units together, you can't really surround individual units anymore. Ultra's going to try and fight the Archons. Baneling's just going to take out the static. They will blow up on the batteries, of course. And Archons and Ultras is kind of a funny battle because both of them damage each other rather slowly. 4 Archons, of course, does smash 1 Ultralisk, though. Mass drop in the main does come in. Looks like he didn't get too much damage, though, guys. The Void Ray carrier, very quick to respond. He gets... Okay, there we go. 15 probes do go down in the natural. He burrowed some in the main as well. These guys, unfortunately, had an observer overhead, so unable to hide. The Ultras on the left do go down. Reynor's trying to get some movement going, trying to get some action going. Funnily enough, MaxPax, there we go, flies over the top. Zergling's going to try and get maybe 1 or 2 Stargates here. Quick Zealot warp in should save the second Stargate, I believe. Maybe even the first one, since they're all attacking different targets. Nice targeting there by Reynor. Does fix that. Gets at least 1 of the Stargates. Not the biggest deal by any means, but Zerglings are cheap. And at this point, it feels like Reynor, I mean, still no Corruptors, guys. Still no Vipers either. Instead, he's adding Neuroparasite. So he's still wanting this kind of big Queen Microbial Shroud army. And I don't know, man. I love that army. And I feel like if Storms and Disruptor shots land in the middle of it, you're going to go, oh, ow, 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 ow. Now, that is why you need your Broodlords, your Ultras, to kill those splash damage units before they wreck your Queens. Mama! Oh my god, we got Mama. Mama's coming. Mama's coming. Guys, it's Big Mama's House 13. The sequel to the best series of movies of all time. Let's go! Now, the ground units are going to get a lot of Ultra Ling on top of them. The spores do almost kill the mothership before the action even really starts. There are still some disruptors there. He even did some stasis traps. Very cute stasis traps. The infestors run in. One of those dies. The queens are going to take forever to get back here. He's going to get the hive. He's taking out a lot of important tech structures. A beautiful move here by MaxPax. He's doing the Zest maneuver, gets the Baneling Nest, the Evo Chambers, the Ultra Cavern will go down as well. And remember, he can recall out. He's already killing a few queens, though, and how do you fight up there? You just can't as Reynor. Oh, look at that. The Tempests, they're focusing down the Broodlords. The micro double ball lands. 5 queens go down almost instantly to that. The Broodlords are getting machine gun transfused, but there's still so many interceptors out here as well as the Void Rays. And you know what? Microbial Shroud does not stop those Corruptors from taking maximum damage. I think this is maybe barely going to be held by Reynor, but already look at the bank. He's so out of money, and there's still too many interceptors left. The Corruptors are trying to focus down the carriers. There's still 2 Void Rays in there doing a lot. And one of the carriers does fall. Another carrier there is going to go down, but look at that. He's warping in Stalkers. He's realized, hey, I can make Blink Stalkers here. I can chuck a Korean. You're stuck making Corruptors right now. That's not going to do anything versus Stalkers. 1 Broodlord standing strong, throwing her last baby before she does get taken down. A single Tempest in the middle of the map. What a Chad gamer right there. Mr. Rando Tempest the 14th. His job is to kill Spore Crawlers randomly while the actual fight's happening. I'm helping, guys. Ultralisk over there. Okay, we're going to get an Abduct on Mama. A couple of Abducts on these units do go down. Carrier should be falling. Ultras will be able to take off those Stalkers, so well done by Reynor. A fantastic and miraculous hold there. Stalkers, you're not going to go deep, are you? You're not going to go even deeper, are you? MaxPax just hiding in the main with the Stalkers for now. Did recall some of his Tempests out of there. Units lost tab. Did look like that was pretty efficient. Killing all the buildings and whatnot definitely makes a difference. MaxPax, uh-oh. He's going to blink down there and kill some drones. Just being a massive nuisance. Reynor's economy is not that great, guys. He's only on 57 workers. That Queen actually just killed 2 Stalkers. She's going to kill a 3rd Stalker. How often do you still see Queens kill Stalkers? Damn. She's got 3 Stalker kills. All right, Zealot there as well. This economy definitely feels better for MaxPax, right? It was better for Reynor for most of this game, but yeah. MaxPax now in a slight lead. Can transfer workers to that top left base. And yeah, you can see he's starting to do that a little bit. Needs to pull some off this one. And Corrupts on the left do get revelated. Zealots being annoying. I think it might be time to rebuild drones for Reynor. He's got to rebuild Overlords as well. Oh, so this was extra costly for him. Not only does he have to rebuild like the Hive, which he has rebuilt in the natural, but he also has to rebuild a whole lot of Overlords. He's getting his Infestors back up from scratch. Now he's got Viper Corruptor now. Oh shit. Oh, he's just going to die to a push. Okay, so MaxPax has done a really weird thing, guys. He's made Mass Archon, Stalker, with like a few Void Rays over. This is just a ground killing army. Broodlords are desperately needed, and Fungal is desperately needed as well against this. But he's not going to have any energy. He does have Pathogen Glands, but he's only got like 4 Fungals available. Dude, he needs Broodlords here, and Ultras as well. He needs everything together to deal with this army. This is actually such a mid-tier army from MaxPax, but he feels like, hey, there's no way you're going to get up enough stuff to beat all this. That Observer will die, walks into the Spores, not the best move there. That Fungal's not great. That first Fungal was not the best, but if he can get another one, get some of these Archons, that would be big. And abducts. Oh, Viper, come on, just abduct anything you can, mate. Stalker scares it back. I think Reynor missed an opportunity there. DT does kill his hatchery on the right side. Really good play here by MaxPax to use this army. The question is, how do you trade this army out? Because if he can get like 12 Broodlords up, that's going to fudge this ground army. You've already got enough Viper Corruptor to deal with the Tempests. I mean, you've got some Queens and some spells to deal with the Void Rays. I don't like this army for MaxPax. I think it's definitely a bit weird. And for him, the question is, how do you trade this out, or how do you find damage with it before the Broodlord Infestor count grows? It definitely feels to me like Reynor has the better army quality. He has very little bank to work with, though. Oh, great dodge there. Great dodge by MaxPax, but he's going to get caught by the Broods. Broodlords! Broodlords! Not on a move. Okay, they missed a bit of time there. The good transfuses gets a Stalker or 2. Looks like one of those other units died as well. I see, looks like just Interceptor shreds on the ground. How many Interceptors have died this game? 72. Okay. How many carriers? Just one carrier in the mix. Oh! Ow. Single Baneling doesn't do much there. Stalkers on the right being annoying. Zergling Ultra should be able to deal with that. They're getting ready to run by as well. If he can deny this new base of MaxPax on the left with a run by, that would be huge. Those Stalkers are going to take some damage there. Disruptor's going to hit his own Archon, funnily enough. A couple of Ducks picking off a few of those important units. I'm not sure if MaxPax minds losing a few of these Archons right now. He's got a lot of gas. It's not the most important thing for him. Broodlords, not quite going to finish off that shot. 9 Broodlords. 16 Corruptors, 5 Vipers, 6 Infestors, a few more drones being rebuilt here for Reynor. Reynor is kind of on a very simple economy. He's not doing a lot to re-expand. It's just kind of like, I'll retake my gas. I guess I'll take a hatch over here, but he's not spreading creep either, and feels like Reynor's frozen up a little bit in terms of his focus now. The way I can see it is very much like, hey, let's just win the next fight. And that is a very important thing. Oh, killing his own probes. Okay, MaxPax is realizing he needs more army supply. Having just a few more units is important. So trading off his Stalkers is good. He's lost a few Archons. You can see he's replacing these with Carriers, Mothership. Only +1 Plasma Shields for MaxPax, so we could get some more upgrades there. Whereas you've got 3-2 on the air for Reynor. You've only got about to be 3-3, but only +1 Plasma Shields. 7 Spore Crawlers are out. Okay, 8 Spore Crawlers. So he's massing spores, is Reynor. He's trying to set up to defend this army. Bit of an Archon Immortal run by getting ready on the right side of the map. That definitely could deal with this. That Immortal will do so much damage. 65 a shot. Ultras do have, I think, 7 armor. So 58 damage a shot to the 500 hit point Ultralisk. Does still do a significant chunk every single attack. Overseer on the right side there. Mama, I think, got spotted trying to move down the right side of the map for another sneaky recall. Another Nexus goes down. Oh, trying to expand to the middle base. Now, how do you trade here as Reynor? I mean, I feel like... Okay, there we go. That's a good one. Gets an Oracle. Gets a Tempest. Can he get a Corruptor? Oh, Parasitic Bomb Fungal combo. Very nicely. Wow. Oh, my lord. Reynor. Oh, that is why he's the world champion. He just pulled out some brilliant spellcaster usage. He's going for another one. That one's a bit too eager. Almost loses the Viper for it. So he's got to collect more energy. He just killed a lot of units. He just damaged the Void Rays. They're all heavily wounded. He got a bunch of Tempest carrier pickoffs. Didn't really lose much himself at all. We can see that units lost tab still very close here. Broodlord's got to be careful though, guys. These Broodlords really are the only thing protecting him from that big ground army ball. And this is crazy. What are you doing out here, mate? His Vipers are not sucking right now. Guys, I don't mean to be crude, but there's one thing Vipers are good at. It's sucking. And they need to get going, mate. They need to get some of that energy siphoned off some of those buildings. Because right now, he doesn't even have a single abduct on either one of those. Defensive recall to the left side. Interesting there from MaxPax. Wants to keep this base available. Okay, so check this out, guys. These Vipers, where are they? Come on, dude. You got to gather energy with those. His Vipers were so good in that last fight. I think he had 3 before. He's got 4 now. Okay, so these 2 are getting a bit of energy off that base on the right side. But, yeah, gonna lose an Extractor again. Very annoying. That Extractor keeps getting denied. That last 900 gas, just unable to harvest that. Ling Ultra looking for a run by, but these bases aren't even that important, and they're pretty well defended as well. Lots of cannon battery. And you can see, oh, Void Ray run by on the right side. And this. Okay, so we got Ling Ultra counterattack for, of course, Reynor. He's going to get in and start tearing down the production a little bit. Some of these Archons are going to come back to deal with this. They'll do pretty well. Void Ray run by on the right side. No transfuses go down. Army on the left comes in. Broodlord Corruptor Viper. MaxPax, you absolute psychopath, is like, hey, dude, do you want to micro 4 places at once? Reynor is a multitasking god. Do you really want to fight him in this scenario? The Ling's still doing damage in the natural. The Archons cannot get inside the wall to defend. The Nexus goes down. Looks like on the right side, the hatchery fell, though. I don't know who's winning these trades. I just know it's absolutely insane that both players are engaging in such multi-prong, so many different places at once. The Zergling burrows, the Zergling unburrows. It goes for a bit of a stabby stab on that base, but you know what? At the end of it, MaxPax still has this base on the left side up and available, and 6 Ultras on the way. He's gonna do more run-bys like this, is Reynor. Reynor wants to keep the movement going. He feels like in those chaotic scenarios is where his chances of success lie, and I agree. I mean, if you can catch these air units with no High Templar support, abduct, Parasitic Bomb, it's going to wreak havoc on him. Infestors in the open. Uh-oh. Fungal. Transfuse. Fungal. Okay, he's not going to bother fungling, but the Ultra Queen will defend him there. On the right side, Stalkers coming in. MaxPax, what do you got Stalkers for? I think he warped these in to defend the run-bys. Doesn't really want to keep using these units. The Tempest dive and grab another Broodlord. There's only 5 Broodlords left. 5 Broodlords is not that many. But there's no Tempest guarding that. High Templar guarding that army, guys. There we go. He realizes he warps in 4 more High Templar. The movement in this game is very interesting. I love the way Reynor is doing everything he can to stop it from being a static situation. He's always keeping a bunch of supply in mobile units to keep the movement going. And at this stage, +3 Carapace going to be coming in still. No Plasma Shields past +1 for MaxPax. MaxPax with a 10,000 bank. And we've got about 9,000 for Reynor. So about maybe 1,500 resources ahead in the bank for MaxPax. And the fact that he's already mining a middle base, whereas Reynor hasn't even attempted to take his middle base on the right, is huge. Archons kind of getting surrounded here. This is pretty good fight for Reynor by the looks of it. He gets a couple of these Archons. Is he chasing too far, though? Abducts on the left side. Grabs a couple of those Tempests and a carrier. Ooh-wee. Oh, my lord. Nicely played. Ultra Ling on the right will now pull back as the Void Rays find them. I really feel like Reynor is just playing this so excellently. Look at that. He's now 3,000 resources ahead. Of course, MaxPax is mining more resources, but look at the value. There we go, though. Tempest Focus Fire has really been a big thing for MaxPax. He's got so many Tempests. He's got too many. Guys, he went to like 12 Tempests or something. He's still at 8. He should not be on that Tempest count. So He's going to adjust now and go a bit heavier on the carriers, which is definitely a good idea. There's not many Corruptors out right now, and actually, he's morphing more Broods. Okay, 9 more Corruptors are coming. Good, good. I think you need to keep at least 15, 20 Corruptors here to two-shot these big capital ships. I guess Tempests are a little more fragile, but especially once the carriers and the Mama are out, that's always a fright if you can't stop that. Now, he's going to try and take the right bases. Reynor's actually got a hatchery building there, and MaxPax is going to find out. Oh, okay, that's already taken. No worries. It's going to get denied by the Ultras there. The army's still posturing on this left side. Broodlords are hanging out. Watch out. Remember, he can see them. And whenever he sees those Broodlords, those Tempests run forward and focus fire. You know he loves to do that. Oh, good fungal. Oh, he's going to chain it. Oh, great feedback there. But at least one of the High Templar does go down. If you could fungal those High Templar out, the Broodlords would have been able to catch all of them. Oh my god, speaking of catching, 2 carriers in the middle of the rally and recall, unable to save them in time. Dude, oh, Reynor. I mean, look at this. He's controlling 3 areas at once. Spore Broodlord, trying to keep this base up while he mines the last resources. Right side being secured with the Ultras. Corruptor Viper roaming. This is such great play by him. And MaxPax at this point is going, oh shit, what do I do with my comp? He's still got 8 Tempests. He's gone up to 3 carriers. Obviously, he built 5, but lost 2 of them. He's trying to build more Void Rays now. Speaking of which, another Void Ray gets caught on that right side. Abduct here. Doing so well. The Spore Crawler Broodlord getting busted, though. Uh-oh, Reynor getting caught out here. Reynor getting caught out without enough units. He's got to abandon this base. He should not be taking this fight. He's going to try and neural a few of these units and kind of just friendly fire a bit. But I don't think this is the right way for this fight to go for Reynor. A bit of an overextension, and he should have given this base up or brought his Corruptor Viper over. But wait, where's the High Templar? Where's the High Templar, mate? There goes a carrier. And he wants to grab some Tempests as well. 2 carriers, 2 Tempests, make it 3. No, that Tempest survives there with 2 hit points. But I think, okay, makes up for what initially was a bad trade there for Reynor. He's still ahead, 5,000 resources in the units lost. If he can end up mining this base on the right, he will be okay. Right now, though, he's struggling to even mine this base on the left. He's trying to make more Broodlords right now. Obviously, if you get caught out without any anti-ground units like the Broodlords, you can get pushed back. You need those to try and pick off these units from afar. The Broodlord's going to get jumped on. Oh, whoa, MaxPax. But, oh, great Blinding Cloud to defend there. Tempest came forward and focused one of them down as well. But in the end, the Stalkers do go down, and there's still 7 Broodlords alive. This game is an absolute shit show right now, mate. This is just a real messy and exciting back and forth Zerg versus Protoss match. Oh, Void Ray's going down the right side of the map. Okay, Spore's doing what they can. MaxPax does take a bit of damage on those. Doesn't get the base, doesn't get the snipe. The Queen's are sold. The Ling Ultra is still posturing, but where can they go? Where can they go? Like, where's an important base? Actually, I guess the top left. If they run past to the top left, that's actually kind of important. 500 gas, maybe 1,000 minerals left there. These Broodlords constantly in danger from those Tempests. High Templar are looking like they're absolutely trying to bait those Broodlords forward, and another Broodlord falls. Ultra's running in. Not a good trade with the Void Rays there, though. Void Ray Cannon Battery, good setup. Infestors do throw a fungal out. Where's that Corruptor Viper, mate? Where is that Corruptor Viper? He's gathering energy, but once again, slow on the consume after the previous skirmish. And Reynor's going to abandon this base. He sees it just as a place where he's losing too many resources on it rather than gaining them. And the forward battery cannon, the Harstem, that's what we call it, guys. If you build your buildings outside your opponent's base to support your Skytoss army, that's what we call the Harstem. He's been doing it since about 2014. And it really is a great way of just entrenching your siege position. Probes being thrown away. MaxPax wanting more army right now. As you can see, he's down about 25 army supply because he's got so many probes. And that's okay since he is mining pretty well with most of them. But it's time to start throwing a few of those away. His gas income. Wow, that's the scary thing, is that there's so little gas bank for either player right now. That ball lands on the Ultra. Nice transfuses there. Army's rotating. Broodlords over here are ready. Ultraling going to jump on top. Those High Templar will fall. Loses a bunch of Zerglings, but well worth killing the High Templar for minerals. And oh, here we go. One carrier goes down. Another carrier gets abducted as well. Parasitic Bomb to try and keep back those Void Rays. Oh, Prismatic Alignment. He's got to pull back, does Reynor. Prismatic Alignment's a little bit too scary there. He wants to bait him into the Spore Queen. Most of his spores have already gone down, though. It's so many Void Rays. Has he actually been caught without enough anti-air? Reynor here turns and tries to pursue, but at great timing on the pullback for MaxPax. His Void Ray is heavily damaged. I think he needs to touch those up on a shield battery. He's trying to siege this base, and you know what, guys? Where's the queens? You've got minerals. Where's the queens, Reynor? He actually needed to be replacing queens in this gas-starved position, but he didn't do it, and now he's just a bit too shy on anti-air. A few more spores, a few more queens here would have made a world of difference. The Zealots run by on the backside as well. MaxPax sieging him down is absolutely huge. I mean, not having the Infestors in that last battle was so goddamned massive as well. And right now he loses the base on the right side. The Tempest focused that down. This is a disaster. He needs to move these spores up to this base. Needs to drop some creep there, but he's running out of creep space. And the Tempests are going to be so good at sieging him down. Only 3 Tempests left. A bit of a hodgepodge army. Stalker, Zealot, Tempest, Disruptor, 14 Void Rays. Zergling's going to try and break this right side and at least stop MaxPax from mining out his minerals. Maybe even break the base itself. Does see a recall, though. Will force him back, I believe. It's just Stalkers, though. Changelings here. Going to try and block that up, annoyingly. All right. Ooh! All right, Tempest does go down. Units lost tab. Still in favor of Reynor, but if he can't get this base mining and stabilize, right now his ratio of units is effed. He doesn't have infestors, guys. He's got 1 infestor out, another one building. He's got so little gas mining. His gas is about to run out over here. 1,500 gas left. So he's got 4 gases mining right now. He's desperately replenishing. He's adding queens as well, which, like I said, very important with that mineral bank. Get more spores and queens up here. Move these spores up here as well now that you've got the creep spread. But look at this cannon battery. MaxPax is saying, I've got very little gas, but if I can build cannon battery outside your base, that's going to allow me to push forward. And look at that. Tempest's looking great there. Now, it's all about the vision battle. So notice MaxPax, he's got the revelation. Where's Reynor's changelings? He needs changelings swamping in there off his overseers to give him vision so he can get those abducts before MaxPax can respond. I don't mind this move. The Ling Ultra just trying to clear up space on this map a little bit, create an opening over here. If there's no units to support, the Ultra Ling does get very cost efficient versus the cannons, but Stalkers and Zealots coming back. Reynor, A-move. A-move, Reynor. Good fight from Reynor if he A-moves, but he's not A-moving. He's on move command. Most of his Ultra Ling is moving. And oh, he grabs some Tempests on the right. He gets a bunch of High Templar as well with his Broodlords. Parasitic Bombs go down. He cannot fight into the Void Rays, though. The Parasitic Bombs seem huge until you remember how many shield batteries there are there, and you go, oh my god, he just absorbs it. He just absorbs it. Another Tempest, another 2 Tempests and a High Templar go down. There's not enough anti-air. The base gets sniped. The Broodlords are in the open. The Queen's trying to hold the line, but they will get overwhelmed. And these Void Rays, these 14 3/3 Void Rays have just been such a pain in the ass. Oh my god, Reynor unable to deal with them. His Ling Ultra trying to overwhelm that base, but it looks like they'll barely get held as the last Broodlord Infestor on the right side do go down. And on that left side, Ultras are going to snap into MaxPax's last gas mining base, I believe. No, he's still got a bit of gas up here as well. Still got 1,000 gas on that base. Void Ray's recall to defend. Reynor loses his last mining base. And that's it. He's got 16 Corruptors and 5 Queens. He needs to kill this whole army with that right now and retake these bases instantly. That's his only chance. But remember, he just lost his whole ground army. He's got 1 Ultra out right now. Corruptors trying to take down these Void Rays. A lot of the Void Rays are falling, but there's still 12 of them on the map. A Tempest falls on the way home. Another Tempest falls, and my god, he's being good with his abducts. Even after losing all these bases, Reynor is even on the units lost tab. But these middle bases, he needed to secure those much earlier in the game and mine them out. Because as we see in the late game, when you get to this position, the Protoss has better siege units. If he can set up his defenses outside your base, he's going to be able to siege you down. It's going to get really awkward for you if you're in Reynor's shoes. Now, Reynor denying this base. He says, how dare you think you can take that base, you piece of dick? MaxPax says, what'd you call me? Reynor's like, I'm angry, okay? I'm angry, man. This is definitely the conversation that happened. This is definitely not in my imagination. Remember, guys, you can quote me on this. Make sure you tweet at Reynor, SC2. Why did you say that to MaxPax? That's BM. Anyways, Mass Zealot Stalkers is shit army, guys. You know what's worse, though? Units that don't shoot down. Corruptor Viper. He's got an Ultra, a handful of Zerglings, a couple of Queens, and that Ultra gets surrounded by Mass Zealot. And these Banelings are trying to morph, but I think there's just a few too many Zealots, man. Great Baneling hits, actually, funnily enough. But what's he doing? Building 12 Zerglings at a time. Corruptors unzip their flies and take a big wee on the left side of the map. The stasis, the shield battery overcharged, though, keeping it alive. He gets overwhelmed on the right, and he cannot handle the Zealot Stalker. Damn, man. MaxPax with the 2-0 there. Reynor's abduct, fungal, multi-prong handling 3 fights at once was insane. But I think MaxPax just got those middle bases up too early. And I especially love the way MaxPax would dive over the spores to focus the Broodlords. That was so damned well done. Like, the pressure on this base to just keep running forward and sniping the Broods was massive. And let's try and watch that fight one more time where the game kind of turned around, because I want to see where those Infestors died, because I didn't quite process that. There was so much happening at once. So when this base finally falls and he abandons it and he tries to move to the right side, where'd the Infestors go? So he's only got 4 left, so he's a little lower on Infestors already. And then I know he landed great Parasitic Bomb Abduct on this right. I don't think he landed good Infestor spells. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so we got the High Templar pulled back.
My man!
And let's watch this big kind of game-deciding fight one more time over here. So he abducts. Yeah, he gets some really nice abducts on the carriers, but the Infestors unfortunately derped forward. He does get 1 fungal out and kind of pairs it with a Parasitic Bomb, but imagine a few more fungals spread across that line and holding them in these Parasitic Bombs. Because remember, it was the Void Rays that cracked through here. Oh, that would have changed everything. A really unfortunate mistake for Reynor. But MaxPax did have a giant mineral bank, and I love the way he was building these forward cannon battery positions. And as much as I think he kind of almost went too many Tempests, he really just kept the pressure on Reynor and kept using that range advantage to just force him into bad fights. Bloody well played by MaxPax, bloody well played by Reynor. That was a really fantastic ZVP, and there was a lot more movement. There was a lot more movement than we normally see in the late game. GG, well played. All right, guys, we just took a little bit of a break there in the live cast of this, but we're coming back on into it. And Reynor has just dropped in chat, which is part of why we took a break. And he said, I played this game on my laptop. That's why, Pig, that's the only reason I lost. Doesn't count. Also, a dog ate my mouse. So, coming from the horse's mouth itself, proof that any victory, if MaxPax can close this series 3-0, 3-1, 3-2, doesn't count. And that's how we know Reynor is a world champion expert StarCraft player, everyone. Because honestly, if you don't come to a match with at least 1 excuse in your back pocket, you're a fucking amateur. What are you going to do? Take responsibility for your losses? Learn from them? Move on? Heck no! I've said it from day one, guys. Remember, the monitor's not quite right. The mouse isn't in the right position. Something's wrong with the frame rate. And the dog blocked your spawning pool, you know? You've always got to have one. I say it like it's like I'm making fun of Reynor, but this is actually like totally my motto. You guys hear me make so many excuses when I'm grinding the ladder. I make so many. I try to not get too like, oh, that's the only reason, you know, but it's a mixture of you soften the blow with an excuse and then you still try and learn something at the same time. But you got to cushion that ego, guys. You've got to cushion that ego if you're going to keep going, man. Pretty standard opening here. Notice 16 on minerals, but I think he was 15 before that, right? I think he just went 16. So I think it's a Stargate build again. Now, Berlingrad's pretty good for a queen walk because you could just walk across here pretty damn fast, and you could even open that up and just shove up the natural, right? If you open both of those. Now, what's really funny is I've seen people try to do that, and then the Protoss realizes and snipes the drones. And if you snipe it there, and the queens are already here just behind it, and then they have to go around, it is the most awkward thing ever. So we'll keep our eyes on it. Reynor, of course, won his world championship partially off the back of some Lambo coaching on how to kill a lot of those Void Ray builds. So I really feel like if there's one guy who's definitely got that potential to bring that out, it is, of course, Reynor. Not an expert in the way Lambo is. I feel like every time I'm watching Lambo, I'm like, fear the Queen Walk. Every Protoss is so aware of that as an ever-present threat. But it's definitely something Reynor mixes in there, so we'll keep our eyes on it. Queen up front. Watch out. Creep Tumor's going to go down. Nice snipe. Oh, he cancels the shade. That's interesting. Just going to go up here for now. Stalker! Wait. This was Twilight Robo? Oh, this was Twilight Robo. Oh, look at this Overlord dance. Reynor's like, high ground, low ground. High ground, low ground. So whichever way the Stalker goes, he goes the other way. And then the Zerglings pair up with it. I always talk about, if that Overlord goes south, it's safe. Reynor, run! Run the Overlord. You could save it, bro. Your Zerglings have distracted it enough. Run! I don't like this Overlord staying here. Anyway, guys, the Adept went in. It actually forced multiple buildings to create there just to save the workers. So that's actually very real damage. Now, Reynor's third hatchery will finish up momentarily as well. He has no sign of putting back on gas or the Roach Warren just yet. But because there's a Stalker out, he should be on high alert. This could be one of these Glaive Adept builds. That Glaive Adept build from game 1 on Curious Minds, very good. As I said, good map for Queen Walk usually means it's a good map for an Adept build as well, because these are the builds that want to walk across the map, rush across, and surprise your opponent. And, okay, what can we do here, man? Prism there as well. Roach Warren's on the way. So that went down 345 against. This seems to be Reynor's preferred way of responding, is getting that 345 Roach Warren, but he's staying so low on workers. 37? I mean, that's not even a fully saturated 2 base, is it? I guess because he's only on 1 gas. Ah, that does make sense. So the idea here is this base can be abandoned. You don't really need to defend it. You just need to defend the other 2, but he's being forced to build Zerglings. Right when his Roach Warren finished, those at least a few of those should have been Roaches. I guess he's so low on gas. Does it really matter? I don't know. Shield Battery will kick in time. They will not be able to kill that Stalker before that Shield Battery finishes, guys. Yeah, it does force an Adept Warp in at home, so that's something. And these Adepts going to start darting on forward. Queens don't have any transfuse energy. That's a dead Queen. Well done by MaxPax. Cancels the shade, pulls back for now. And he's going to have to try and recall. Oh, good quick recall. And he loses just 1 Adept. I think one of those Adepts barely survived in the red. He's going to warp in more Adepts and keep going, guys. He's got a Robo Bay up behind this. He has probed up to 40. Reynor builds 3 spores right now. You never know if there's DTs coming in. But he's got to get droning, man. He redrones a little, but he's still on a very low count. He's got 31 Zerglings ready for the backstab. Shield Battery means you can't really do anything. Best bet is to target the Cybercore, but even then, battery overcharge is just too much, man. 5 Roaches out, 5 more on the way. 10 Roaches should be able to defend these next 15 Adepts coming in here. 14 Adepts, I guess it'll be. But honestly, I mean, they're not all together just yet. There's not much creep on this side, so this is a really good attack angle from MaxPax. Going to come on in there. Lings pulling back. Lots of Queens there. Lots of Lings up in the main base now. I don't know where the rest of the Lings went. I thought there was more than that, actually. The Roaches need to start a step. Reynor's got to start a step these Roaches forward. They're losing a lot of attack time because he only started step them once or twice. And really good shade. He's going to just get on out of there. He leaves 2 Adepts on red in there behind. One of those goes down. The other one is still up in the back of the base. The Roach Queen on the front, though, was split. And Reynor can heave a sigh of relief. Can he? Well, wait. Oh no, the 1 Adept that he didn't notice. Oh my god. Okay, good drone surround. 3 more drones go down there. The red hit point Adept. This is somehow it goes, right? You think you've defended and it's the 1 Adept in a mineral line that you didn't notice that kills like 8 drones and you're like, no. No. Oh my god. Roach Queen coming forward. Gonna shade on backwards. We've got 47 probes versus 58 drones. This is looking so good for Reynor. This Speed Prism Disruptor drop has a lot of work to do, but late layer, which means no Spire, no Roach Speed, and that means you're going to have some big potential targets. And he's gone too greedy on the drone, 63. Okay, where's 9 more drones? Reynor, put it back in your pants, mate. Jesus Christ. This man, he saw the 3rd base just started. Reynor saw the 3rd just started, and he's like, I need over 70 workers. Absolute mad greed there. 1 Roach for the Disruptor. 1 more ball loaded, ready to go. Good drone pull. Oof. 5 workers go down nonetheless. These Adepts going to force this base to evac, I think. As those Queens are fighting. Disruptor's about to cool down. One of those in just 5 seconds. Stalker's warping in. MaxPax with a bizarre attack here. I don't think he was planning to do this much, but he's catching Reynor so greedy. Reynor, get those Roaches back over here, man. He was splitting for the Adept Shade. Oh, big ball on the drones. Reynor does not have Roach Speed on the way, remember, but there are just not that many units for MaxPax. As I said, he was not meant to do this much damage. These Roaches need to turn around. They will. Drones, I think, could fight that as well if they want to. And it looks like he will finally defend it. Just got to watch out for a ball on the exit. Ah! Sounds of Zerg players. Oh, that hurts. Ouch. Oh, he's going to keep doing it. You can also go for the creep tumors with the disruptors. It's not a big pick off, but it's something. So that big lead, which I think Reynor had, now finds himself 4 base versus 3 base, but he's locked on the same worker count. He's going to start Aspire. Roach speed is there. Feels like he's a little behind on the tech. I think he's still okay numbers-wise, but I'd like to see another 10-15 drones come out. Disruptor's going to try and go forward. Oh, look at the way he's just trying to work these angles. See if he can surprise him, keeping Reynor a little bit stressed out. Reynor's building 8 more workers. I think that's really good. And I think he'll have to stop at that point or he'll die to a follow-up timing. So I do think 75 workers, mass Roach Ling from there. He's obviously got the Banelings potentially ready. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out.
Thanks for the Bezos box.
And remember, guys, the Zerg never knows if you're going to unload. So if you want to do this, you can even queue it up where you can just be like, move here, move here, move here, move here, move here, move here. And they'll think you're actively staring at it and you're not. So it kind of freaks them out without you having to actually manage the unit. A really cute way of being a bit of a dickhead. And remember, guys, being a dickhead is a compliment in StarCraft. If you're being a dickhead, it means you're screwing with your opponent. You're being very frustrating to play against. And this is exactly the sort of shit you should do. Look at that. 2 adepts are going to shade along the top side of the map. So he's going to push the bottom and shade up the top at the same time. Not much creep on this bottom side. Definitely, he's got such a big creep schlong in the middle, but no creep on this bottom base. He's got a good spready, so I do like that, but look at the way the mobility is being used by MaxPax. Great disruptor shots. Second one only gets a single roach. Great move forward by Reynor, though. Really nicely done, but look at the way he's ready to just blink back, dodge that, and just walks out of there with very few losses, using that Protoss mobility so well. And this is where next time that happens, I think Reynor needs to sandwich. He needs to come in with the bread from 2 sides. Notice he just tried to basically do like a, kind of like a wrap. You know, he tried to do a taco, I guess is what we call that, right? Where you're kind of, it feels like you're surrounding the filling, but you're not. There was a big opening. And of course, the filling can always escape through that taco opening. So you want to go for a proper sandwich with the bread coming in from 2 sides. Yes, the peanut butter and jelly can squeeze out and kind of overflow from both edges, but it's not going to have as easy of a way of getting out, especially if you have big pieces of bread and a spread of peanut butter and jelly that doesn't go right to the edges of the crust. So that's what I think Reynor should be looking through for, because he's very committed on Roach Ling right now. He's making speed banes as well. He does have a round of mutas, but it is a round of mutas. So this is an annoying squad of mutas, guys. Notice he's got 6 mutalisks there. So that 5 mutalisks one-shots a probe. So this way he can lose 1 mutalisk and still be one-shotting. But look at this. MaxPax seems to be very aware of what's going on. Didn't see the Spire, but I think he just knows his opponent. He's like, yeah, you're going to try and go mutas. You don't want to stay Roach Ling Bane here. And already that 1 muta goes down, so he can't afford to lose any more mutas right now. He's going to hide in the back of the base. I mean, think about it. 10 supply of the Zerg, keeping 16 supply of the Protoss pinned back there. So it's actually kind of good supply efficiency compared to normal Protoss versus Zerg. Those mutas do create a problem. The Lings here are going to get some damage as well. Very nice. Openings being found. The muta Ling in on that base. His army on the front still posturing. Disruptor shots zoning him back a little bit. Great play by Reynor. Using... Oh my god, no! No! Oh my god. Or yes? Protoss fans, yes? Zerg fans, no! I almost fell out of my friggin' chair. I'm not on camera right now, but I almost fell out of my chair. So sorry if my volume changed a lot moving away from my mic there. That was, oh my god. Ling's coming in again, not gonna find an opening on that right side. That was some big balls. I gotta tell you, man, MaxPax, he's got the big ones. He's got a firm set on him. People say soft Protoss player, young kid don't got anything. Young kid got something. He got a firm set of speed balls in a prism. And once again, another shot there defending some Banes. Watch out, he's in the open. Okay, preemptive shot there does go out. The young gun's known for those preemptive disruptor shots every now and then, but they will recharge in the near future. Oh, Roach Ling Bane coming in. He wants to smash these mineral lines, these stalkers. Hodor stalkers actually buy a lot of time there, and that means a lot more Banelings are going to have to be used just to get in on this probe line. And while it's good damage, he'd like to keep these Banelings alive. He's not going to be able to. Just turns around, kills the gateway, damages some stalkers. Ling Bane on the right gets a few probes, but not all of them. down to just 38 probes right now is MaxPax. MaxPax looking all in, economically dire. Army-wise, he's winning this game, and he's winning this game hard. A lot of people watching this who might not really think about the strategic side think, oh, he's got no economy. Reynor cannot max out, and even if he could, I don't think a maxed army for Reynor would be enough. This army supply is so much better quality and bigger army as well. Up 20 army supply. MaxPax still has a disruptor in the back. He's got, okay, most of his force fields are gone, but his army is huge. So the thing is for Reynor here, yes, he's got an economy. Yes, the longer this goes, the better it looks for him, kind of. But the problem is in ZVP, yes, damaging their economy is good, but it's a means to an end. And the means to the end, the reason you go after the economy is it forces the Protoss to split their army up to defend, and that presents opportunities for you to kill their army in small pieces. The problem right now is we have, you know, what a very unelegant term, inelegant from the early days of SC2 is the death ball. This is kind of a death ball. It's not really a super late game death ball, but it's good enough when you're just fighting against Roaches, Lings, and Banes. And the thing is, he's got this army up and he's not splitting it up, and you're not really killing any army as Reynor. So the thing is, how can you actually deal with this army? Well, Broodlords or Ultras would massacre this army. He doesn't have a hive. He doesn't even have, he's got an infestation pit. Actually, he's got a hive. He's got adrenal glands. Ultra Cavern would be huge. I think Ultra Cavern would be massive here. Or he doesn't have a, he's got a Spire. Greater Spire wouldn't be bad either. He's rebuilding 2 Mutas. I think that's just to deal with this Prism. You can see there, are they on a control group? Yeah, they are. Number 3. You should really click him on that Prism to get rid of them. But he's not got that much creep spread. He's making a lot of Banes. He's trying to make more drones as Reynor. Reynor, honestly, I mean, yes, MaxPax is regrowing his economy, but this is still very hard for Reynor right now. Should kill those 2 probes. There we go. Still very hard for him to finish this army ever. I mean, I like that he's threatening backstabs and runarounds. Uh-oh, Reynor, get out of there, bro. Warp Prism in the main. Mutas will deal with that one. That Warp Prism's finally going to go down. And does warp in some Zealots. Roaches should be able to deal with that just fine, though. And Big Ling run by coming on in. Battery overcharge and some Stalkers do defend it for now. Look at it though. Now the Archons have been added in. When you add Archon to a Colossus ball, oh my god, it grows in power so much. The second ball does whiff, but that is just so much Protoss. Without Ultras, without a big flank of mass Ultra Broodlord or some shit, I just don't see him taking out this army. And this shows even though Reynor attacked so well from so many angles and damaged the economy, he never managed to get the army down. Like I said, killing their economy, it's a means to an end. The end is always killing the army. The army is the most important thing to take out of a Protoss player, because once they get all those pieces together, it grows exponentially in power. And at this point, I mean, full-on Protoss boner achieved. That is just 100% more powerful once you get those Archons in front. So many Stalkers, equal or better army supply with better upgrades. Just Ling Ravager ain't going to do it anymore at that point. Maybe if you had 130 Banelings, you could roll through and get it, maybe. But do remember those Banelings did get their damage nerfed, and maybe with a bit more creep spread. I think with a Baneling 360, he might have been able to do it. But of course, Reynor there, not taking the best fight. Let's go back and look at that fight one more time. Apparently, Lambo cast this live with Roddy and said Reynor could have won if he morphed all of his Lings into Banelings. Really? Okay, so let's take a look at that. I think it would have been really hard either way. But there was only 4 Archons. So it's all these Lings. All these Lings. Does he have enough money? He's got enough money to make a lot of Banelings, guys. Remember, it's only 20. How much does a Baneling cost? 25. I'm smart. 4 times 14. What's 4 times 14? 48. Yeah, he could make like another 48 Banelings. Definitely, that would give him the opportunity. A few more Ravagers would have been nice as well, but of course, being supply capped is a bit of an issue. I think he should have given up this base. I definitely think this was not the right engagement. I do think he needed to come in with a huge Baneling flank. Against the Archons being added in, the Disruptors, and the Force Field, it's such a hard engagement though. And this was definitely not the fight he needed. GG. We've also got some more unconfirmed reports coming in from Twitch chat that Reynor apparently played this match on his Roomba. And that's why his engagements weren't perfect. GG, well played though. MaxPax, dude, a 3-0 victory over Reynor. This is absolutely massive. GG, well played, gets the 3-0. Really lovely to see MaxPax just coming up and really starting to ascend as a player. He's getting closer and closer to being firmly in that top 3. Turning the top 3 in Europe of Serral, Reynor, and Clem into a top 4. So really can't wait to see what he's got in store for us at Katowice. GG, well played.